The research problem. Many authors opt to begin the discussion with a brief reminder of the research problem and a general summary of the findings as they relate back to that research problem or research question. The method of investigation. The discussion section should also mention the methods of investigation and how they relate to the conclusions of the study. It can mention the attributes of the subjects, subject selection, the ability for the subjects to meet the demands of the research protocol. Other methodological issues that could affect the interpretation and the conclusion of the results include behavioral instruments, electronic instruments, the data collection, signal conditioning, analysis procedures, and limitations placed on the internal and external validity of the study. The results of the investigation, the conclusions drawn directly and fairly from the results. It should not be a simple rehashing of the results. The author should refer to the data to support conclusions. Conclusions should be drawn from the results and tied directly and fairly into other empirical results, other studies. Comments that are not empirically based should be labeled as speculations. So that means they don't have like a reference behind them and they're not conclusions. The results are not always clear cut. The researcher may run into results that are difficult to interpret. They have a dilemma of trying to explain a result first. A researcher may need to speculate on the problem of interpretation for the results and then suggest future research for solving the dilemmas. The relationship of the results of the previous research, so there should be references to previous research. Remember, scientific research is a cumulative endeavor. Everything, it's like, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's circular. It relies on the results of many studies for a broad understanding and an explanation of the phenomena. Even though researchers might compete, at the end of the day, they're all working together to move research forward. One research study cannot cover sufficient territory to answer completely all of the relevant questions regarding a topic. So, research builds on itself. It creates more questions and more questions and more questions. You should inform the readers about the relationship of the findings, like I said, to other research findings in the literature, providing both a completeness and an accuracy for references to previous research. So the author should be very current in their area of research and what's happening in the field, and they should reference current publications within their area, relevant studies, as much as you can. Space will be limited, but the researchers should have a complete understanding of the literature in their area. Sometimes findings may dovetail nicely with previous results in research literature, or an article may present results that are at odds with previous research. When there is a disagreement, the authors have a responsibility to try to explain why there was a disagreement between the results and those of previous researchers. So why are the new results not in line with old results in the area? It could be methodological or statistical differences between the two investigations, or the author may suggest avenues for future research to help explain why the two studies show discrepant results.